The gentlelady from Texas.
Thank you to both chairmen and to my chairman of the full committee. I'm glad that chairman is sitting in front of the flag of the United States of America. I happen to be from Texas, but the last thing I recognize is Texas is in the Union and I'm an American. What that means is that America has an obligation to those who are on the front lines of a terrorist act that occurred in 2001 and risked their lives to save Americans. And as well in 1993 terrorist act. And might I add that we have likewise, though it is not in the context of a terrorist act, failed badly the people in the Gulf Coast who suffered the hands of an enormous natural disaster. Hurricane Katrina is a story yet unfinished. So I'm quite quizzical about where we are today, and I thank Chairman Nadler for his legislation. I know that I'm on the bill and look forward to not only supporting this bill, but I join him in all uncompensated heroes of America, the Filipino veterans and others. America needs to stand up and own these issues and respond to them. Mr. Cardoza, I just wanted to try and find out what amount of monies are left, to your knowledge, in the closed 2003 fund?
In the victims' compensation?
Yes.
None.
What are you utilizing to, there are 11,000 claims, I understand. And how are you addressing those claims right now?
Well, as you know, there is a captive insurance company that Congress set up to defend the city and the contractors against that claim.
Let me have you stop for a moment. So what you are doing, even though it is a creature of Congress, what you are doing is taking money and fighting claims of people who are in need.
I don't agree with that characterization, Congressman, because the money as appropriated, as it's set it in the Appropriation Act, as it's set it in the Inspector General's report, was to create an insurance company. That insurance.
And is that the insurance company where the head of it was being paid $350,000 and $20,000 in health benefits?
And that, as the Inspector General's report notes, the reason the captive insurance company was set up was because neither the city nor the contractors could get private insurance. In the ordinary course, FEMA would have paid the premiums, and you would have purchased insurance.
Would the gentlelady yield for a moment? Would the gentlelady yield for a moment?
I
very short
would be happy to yield.
Thank you. Mr. keeps referring to the Inspector General's report. But as far as I know, they haven't issued their report yet. So I'm wondering what he's referring to.
Well, you would know better than I. I'm referring to the January 2008 report of the Inspector General of.
Well, let me just say that's a draft which is withdrawn as inadequate and inaccurate. It was never issued.
Well,
I yield back.
That you're,
please refrain from cheering or booing, either one. The time is returned to the gentlelady.
I thank the gentleman. Mr. Cardoza, there are often things that Congress does that I vigorously disagree with, and I certainly disagree with any premise or any, it's an interesting name because you've you've really captured and hung out to dry individuals who have been on the front line by using those dollars to fight against, if you will, or defend against claims of individuals who probably legitimately deserve to be compensated. And we have someone who I understand has resigned, but formally was making $350,000. I don't know if Congress dictated that or not, but certainly we deserve an F grade if that's what we did, to give money to someone holding back on giving money to others. Let me try to ask Mr. Feinberg again to get that regulation. I understand it had to do with making sure that someone got to the doctor within 96 hours and then 72 hours. Is that accurate?
The regulations accompanying the original statute required exposure at the World Trade Center within 96 hours of the 9/11 attacks and within 72 hours of that.
Did it have any language in there about latent impact?
The subsequent regulations did.
Okay, let me go to Mr. Valentin. Mr. Valentin, thank you for being here. I know that you struggle as well. When did you first sense the impact of your disease or your diagnosis, and when did you get to the World Trade? Within hours, within days?
I got to the World Trade Center by 11:30 that morning.
The day of?
The day of.
All right, sir. And then when did you get this diagnosis?
Well, subsequently also, I was at number 7 when it fell, a block away.
Yes.
So I was in the plume of dust there. I became sick in November, roughly November, 2 months later. I went and got a chest x-ray, and they thought I had pneumonia, but my lungs were clear. But it was a progression of illness, and I didn't really see it until 2004. It just progressively got worse.
So you have a latent impact, and not only do you have a physical illness, but I imagine there's some mental trauma that goes on as you've been speaking about it.
Absolutely.
And so when did you file a claim?
I haven't filed a claim with Captive Fund.
And for what reason?
There's no way to file a claim.
So you are in essence barred from ever connecting your disease and your mental trauma to the actions of 9/11, of which you were present.
That's correct.
And you said that your surrounding colleagues also, and maybe some of them did not get to a doctor within 72 hours. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
And I might just say to you, without making any humor out of it, some of you gentlemen who are in the firefighters and police and others who work every day, you're not apt to go to the doctor every 15 minutes. Am I honest to say that? Is your wife here to join me? Understand that you guys just hang in there. Is that it?
That's right.
And some of the other workers.
That's correct.
Got him smiling. Let me just say, Mr. Chairman, I didn't get a chance to talk to Mr. Frank. The chairman of the full committee ably pointed out some inconsistency in trying to address this question. There is no doubt that as we sit in this room and that we look at the flag of the United States, you are owed as Americans, whether you're from New York, California, Texas, Louisiana, we owe you. This bill is a responsible addressing of the question of individuals who have now experienced latent damage. How dare we deny the recognition of the tragedy of 9/11, Oklahoma, 1993 World Tower, or Hurricane Katrina? We have to stop it now, and I hope that this bill moves quickly through this committee. I thank you, and I yield back.